Hello and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. I have three very special guests with me today. I've got Herbal Vibes, Beast Mode,
Yes.
Virtuous Vibes. How you all doing?
Yeah, all
I'm
good.
fine, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Nice to have you on my show for the first
I'm
time.
happy to be here.
Yeah, same. I'm happy to be here
Me
too.
too.
It's a new experience, but yeah, just give it a go.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it, Beast Mode. We're gonna roll with it. Right, so Virtuous Vibes has got the question in, and we're gonna take it from there. Just start us off.
So guys, I want to find out, like, what kind of role models did you have growing up, and how did they impact your life? So I'll start with you, Mike.
Yeah, so I grew up in a West Indian household, Grenadian heritage. So strong alpha males, strong black women. So it was all about, it was all around, holding in your emotions, not really showing that side to yourself. It's about being strong and dealing with it. And if things happen to you, it needs to be like water off a duck's back, and they're not really processing stuff. So it's like, no, that happened, but no, we just get on with it. We move, we get on with our lives. We don't let that impact us. So it was really strong-minded people in my household. So being emotional wasn't a thing. It wasn't something that was talked about. Things like mental health weren't discussed. So yeah, definitely strong role models to like aspire to be and look up to.
Wow, that's powerful. What about you, Dwayne? Beast Mode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we grew up in a West Indian household as well. I think our mom was our role model because our dad passed when we was 4.
Oh, really? Sorry to
Yeah,
hear.
he did, yeah. So yeah, basically, mom had to raise the 4 of us: me, my sister, my older brother, my older sister. Yeah, mom was strict, but yeah, we learned a lot from it.
Cool.
What about you, Herbal Vibes?
Well, yeah, I grew up in an Anglo-Indian and Burmese household, and boy, it was because it's Christian household, so it was really strict. And yeah, dad was right. He didn't really show his emotions, so he was quite. My mum was more emotional, but my dad was just like, yeah, from that generation, you got to work, you got to do your thing, and just bring home the bacon.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep. So then how do you guys feel that kind of emotional or lack of emotional intelligence affected you guys in your being a man now, like transcending from being a young male and then growing into the man you are today?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to go, Beast Mode?
Oh, no, you can go first, God.
Yeah, I'll just say it's interesting because you look at that and you look at your environment you grew up in, and you think about when things happen to yourself and kind of how you should respond to them. And it's a lot of it's learned behavior, isn't it? You've seen examples of people around you, role models, how they respond to when things go bad, and or like any type of trauma, and you feel like you should be the same, even though I felt I wanted to process stuff, but it wasn't allowed because it's seen as a weakness. It's seen as you not being a man if you're expressing those emotions. So I think with time and the older I got, I challenged stuff because you come into your own as a man, as a person, because you start looking back and say, well, am I just responding like this because I basically just learned the behavior from other people around me because they would respond in that way, or rather than, oh, do I really feel like responding like this to this situation? So I think a lot of it is the more you come into yourself and become self-aware, you start really looking at how you're responding to things and the impact any type of trauma has on you. And it's just responding the way you feel you should. So it as I said, it's being comfortable within yourself and realizing that, it's okay. If I'm upset about something, it's okay to process that. And it's okay to deal with that because it's a natural feeling. I think that's the older I got. And I started to realize these are natural feelings, but I used to suppress them. And then it would come out in a, not so healthy way, whether it's, anxiety, things like that can really affect your mental health because you're not dealing with these emotions. You just keep on pushing them down, and then it comes up in a way, you know, it starts to erupt like a volcano or something. So I think the older I got and the more self-aware I became is when I got in tune with my emotions and started realizing, you know what, yeah, you know, my dad or my older brother may not have responded this way, but this is the way I want to. I'm my own man.
Yeah.
So if I want to feel something, then I can feel something. I don't have to think about, oh, how would, you know, my brother or dad would have responded to this. So yeah, I think with age and knowing yourself and life experience, you start realizing that it's okay. It's okay to be, you know, not okay.
No, 100%. What about you, Beast Mode? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, obviously we didn't have dad around, so I had to like learn a lot of stuff myself, and I think that's where a lot of the training came from, because like things built up anger, and like I think I used the training like to relieve that anger, and I still like use it now to like even stresses from like work or anything else. I just use that to relieve the stress, and yeah, I love it.
What about you, Herbal Vibes?
Yeah, well, I think like bottling up my emotions, man. It's like, yeah, it really has this toll on you. Like my dad, like 7 years ago was the first time I saw my dad cry.
Wow.
And that's my whole life. So it's like when I used to greet my dad, it used to just be like safe. It wouldn't be like a hug. Only when I got older, I started hugging my dad, but I didn't really get them emotions from my dad. So you have to be hard. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't talk about how you feel. And then yeah, that's why I started going gym, like take all my anger out on the gym. You know what I mean?
That's why a lot of us men have sports or gym, something active.
I agree with that. Yeah.
We're working out these emotions because we're suppressing it so much.
Drinking or taking drugs anyway.
100%. Yep, I agree. You
know, I try and tell a lot of people that, but they turn to that and they don't realize how much exercise does help.
Oh, massively.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah. It can turn a bad day into a good day.
Oh,
100%, 100%. Especially if you start your day with a good workout, it sets the tone for the day ahead.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
But working out does help, but it don't really get rid of your problems.
Yes.
At the same time.
This is where we're going.
Over the years, like when you like start speaking to people and telling them your feelings, you feel a lot better as well. So exercise does help, but talking to people does help as well.
Yeah, it's good to get it out.
100% agree.
Yeah, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yes. Because I feel like with this, like when you guys are talking about exercise and like anger and stuff, that's a lot of masculine energy. And like we have to agree that men, as well as women, we both all have equal parts of masculine and feminine energy. So if I said to you guys, like, forget about the masculine energy, if you had to connect with your feminine energy, in what ways would you find an outlet to really like kind of connect and rid yourself of all those heavy emotions? Mike, I present that to you first.
I think that goes back to the conversations. It's like this, even this is helping in being in this space right now. Even having conversations is about and sharing our experiences. And I think connecting with that, call it the feminine, is all about sharing. And I think it's in a space we can express how we're feeling. And that's where it is. When we talked about working out, and then, as you said, Herbal Vibes, it doesn't really deal with the problem. It's still there. Yes, we're working out and it feels good for a bit. And you're like, well, I still feel emotionally crap. You know, after there's still something there eating at me because you're not processing it still. Exercise is great, obviously, for your mental health and being active and things like that for our bodies. But then the emotional side, it still needs tapping into and working through. And I think sharing your problems and having these conversations is where this comes from. You know, things like meditations. I don't know whether you guys are into yoga. Yoga's been massive for me.
Yes, it's good, yeah.
Yoga is good, yeah.
Yoga's been massive for me because of all the breathing. It's a lot
more. Breath work is.
Yeah, it's massive for me. So that's how I would connect. That's what I use: meditations, yoga, talking about it, having these conversations and sharing it. And yeah, first of all, I remember when I first started doing it, and I hated that feeling of feeling vulnerable as a man and going around and feeling, they feeling I'm weak, I'm soft if I'm talking about this type of thing. And then the more you do it, the easier it is. And then you can start expressing yourself. And it's, even if it's just one person you speak to that you can trust and open up, is the biggest thing. And for me, that feels lighter. It feels like a weight off your shoulders when you're actually letting go of these emotions instead of just holding them inside all the time.
And then with this, like kind of the space that we're creating now, like outside of this conversation, do you guys have this kind of space that you can go to, like not even just with a female, like with other males, where you can like express yourself and have that outlet as well? And how often do you guys do it?
No, I do, yeah. Especially say like if like normally I'll go out with like my friend to the cinema or something. When we're driving on the way there, yeah, we do talk a lot of stuff, like stuff from like his past, my past, our families, and just things in general. We do talk.
No, that's good. What about you, Herbal?
I think, yeah, to a certain extent, like I will chat with my friends about certain things, but it'll be limited. I wouldn't go 100% into like basically like letting all my feelings out. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
You still gotta have. I still have that guard because I'm like, because I don't want to seem soft. I don't want to seem vulnerable. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. And because there's certain people I can talk to, and there's certain people I can't really delve deep in. It's just on the surface, basically, with some people. But then my brother's a psychologist, so it's nice to chat to him and just be really open, because that's what he does.
Yeah,
it's nice just having those conversations, but I can't speak to all my friends like that, because a lot of them don't want to hear it. I've had that before, where they would change the subject because it was so uncomfortable with the way the conversation was going, because some people can't deal with it, and people just want it to be, whether it's about sport, whatever it is, about women or something or a bit of fun or whatever it is, they don't want to delve deep. Some people don't want to go there. So I'm not like this with everyone. It's only like a chosen few I can go to and have deep conversation and meaningful conversation. So that, like, because it's a problem for the majority of men that they don't want to open up and express themselves. And like you said, Herbal Vibes, it's seen as weakness in you being soft. So you shouldn't.
I feel like certain conversations, I find myself dumbing myself down a lot, because if you do go deeper in that conversation, people see you as weird. You know what I mean? Because you don't think the same way that they do.
Yeah.
So it's like it's sort of like conforming to society, but you don't want to conform. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I guess that must cause a lot of conflict, because it's not like allowing you to be your authentic self, your true self, and saying what you really want to say. So like, would you guys think of like other ways, like journaling? Like, have you ever tried that kind of method?
Yeah, I do that because I've had problems sleeping a lot, and that's been a lot. So, therapists who I was seeing was saying, you know what, clear your mind before you go to sleep. So write that down. So that's where the journaling came into it, because I'm a deep thinker and I go over stuff over and over in my head. So the course of the day, by the time I'm ready to go to sleep and lie down, I've got all this stuff going around in my head. So I can't rest. I can't just sleep because it's there. Oh, I need to get that done. I need to do all this. I need to that, blah, blah, blah. And, so the journaling is great for that. It's emptying those thoughts. So you're going to your sleep mode and your winding down time with a clear mind. So then you're more likely to get rested and actually have a decent sleep. So the journaling in that aspect has been massive for me. It's like just clearing my head, and it's been massive for me because I don't sleep great normally, because as I said, I'm an overthinker. So that just clears your mind, and then you can, and even just how your day's gone, you know, just writing in how your day's gone and what you got up to today, and, you know, the positive stuff. And it's nice to have maybe 3 positive things that happened today that you show gratitude for. And yeah, definitely the journaling in that regards has been great.
No, definitely. I think gratitude is something that we should all practice every day. I think that does also lift your mood as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What about you, Beast Mode? Would you consider journaling? Do you do it? Is it something you ever tried?
No way I do it, because I'm sure you see like the daily stuff I put in like my stories on Instagram.
Okay.
And I feel like I talk to people and help them a lot as well, and tell them about my past experiences, and well, mostly people that I trust or like help with their training. So yeah, I kind of do it anyway, so it helps me throughout the day, and it does help me sleep. So.
No, that's good. What about you, Herbal?
I think, yeah, well, journaling not so much, but I do my, you always tell me about journaling and doing this, but gratitude's a must. I feel being thankful for my life, because at the end of the day, I could be complaining about my life, but there's a million people out there that would love to be in my position.
Oh, 100%.
So always be thankful for what I've got.
100%.
No, 100%. And like, I kind of wanted to get into the culture thing, because like right now it's a very diverse talk we're having. Like, how did like even religion and culture affect you emotionally and being vulnerable? Like, because obviously with us in the West Indian culture, like I find that even with Black women, we're on this whole independence, like empowering thing. But does that also affect you guys as men?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. It's society, it's our environment have conditioned us to thinking we have to be that certain way. And I did a podcast on generational cycles and how a lot of our ancestors' pain has been passed down onto us.
Yeah.
So this whole expectation of, you know, what a Black man should be like, or, you know, what this particular man should be like, what this woman should be like, has been passed down onto us. And what it does is we're carrying this weight around with us of expectation. And you're constantly, and that's sometimes the struggle mentally, the battle of that. I feel this way, but I'm expected to be this way. So it's like a constant war we are with ourselves.
Yes, so, I agree.
So I totally agree, because how Black women feel they need to be this particular way, how Black men feel they need to be this particular way, and that does affect you in relationships, because you're bringing that into it. You know, even interacting with friends and stuff like that, you're still carrying this, you're bearing this weight of, you know, your ancestors, and, you know, that pain you're taking with you. So for me, it's just, as I said, about breaking these generational cycles and being your own person, because that's and you know, not wanting to fit into a box or this particular stereotype, and just being yourself and just being you. And as I always say to people, that's your superpower, is you being you.
Yes, 100. I love that.
There's only one you. Yeah. Now you can be like sheep and follow everyone else, you know, or do you want to be a shepherd and, you know, you
lead your flock?
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
It's true. What about you, Beast Mode? What's your take on this?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, especially stereotyping. I can't stand that. No. Even like from the way I dress. Yeah. I'm not saying I dress like a particular like roadman, because I'm a single dad and I dress quite, I'd say quite stylish, but not like a gangster or anything like that. Yeah. But I do like to like dress like what are you laughing for? Yeah, but you know, I do like to dress like quite stylish. But yeah, from like even from the music or the way you talk, people do stereotype a lot, and I don't like that. At the end of the day, I am who I am, and I'm not going to change it the way I am for anyone else. And if people don't like it, well, they just have to accept me for the way I am.
Exactly.
And especially as being a black man as well, it's even worse. Like the way like black people get portrayed on TV as well. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. What about you, Herbal Vibes? Because obviously, like growing up.
Yeah, like I grew up a Catholic family, man, so it's quite strict. And like, yeah, my dad would tell me like the stories from the 80s and all that, all the skinheads and all that. So I think that's why my dad didn't show no emotions, because growing up in that time, you had to be tough.
Yeah.
Because you could walk down the street, skinheads, you know what I mean? Doc Martens, so you had to fight for your rights, man. So I think that's why that generation, they really kept their emotions in, because they didn't want to let their emotions out, and then their children become vulnerable, you know what I mean? Because yeah, man. So
no, but like Mike said, it's like a generational thing. So Mike, I don't know if you've got kids, but I know Herbal Vibes and Beast Mode, you got kids. So like with this whole generational thing, being authentic and like you said, social pressures and stigmas, how does this affect you guys as dads? Beast Mode, John, go first.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm a single dad, as you know, so yeah, like even like the way society is now, it's just scary, man, and it's scary, like even just bringing him up in society now, and like obviously, like he's 4 years old at the moment, so everything he sees, he's picking up and seeing and doing at the moment. So obviously, I have to correct him if he comes wrong and whatnot. And sometimes I don't like doing it, but I have to do it because I see other parents where their children just let them do whatever they want. They're swearing and whatnot. And no, I'm not having none of that. So yeah, it's hard, but it has to be done at the end of the day.
What about you, Herbal Vibes?
Yes, like I've got a son. I want to bring him up to be like a productive member of society, and it's like, but that same society would judge him before they even know him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that people judge me before they even know me, and they're like, nah, before I knew you, I didn't really like you, but I was like, but then they're like, yeah, then I got to know you, and you're actually alright. But I'm like, don't judge a book by its cover, man. But
I can relate to that. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's what society would do to you. So it's like, even if you do raise them right, they're still gonna judge you regardless. So you just gotta be, you just got, like Dwayne said, you just gotta be yourself regardless, and people's just gotta accept who you are, man. Because at the end of the day, you're the one living that life. It's not them. They're not going to be the one living it for you. They're just going to judge you. Haters are going to hate at the end of the day, but you're living your life.
No, I hear you. It's true. And do you feel like I think Dwayne was saying before about the music and obviously what we're watching and the things where like basically the environment we're around, like Mike said as well. How has that impacted you as a man today?
Well, I did listen to hip hop. I'm from London, so it's like, yeah, you used to get stereotyped for the way you dress. Yeah, you're a road man, this and that. You getting stopped and searched by the police. Lost count how many times. So it's like, yeah, society judges you before they even know you anyway. So it's like, it's always gonna be there. But you just gotta be a good person. You know what I mean? Your heart don't lie. The eyes can deceive, but your heart don't lie.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And how has not being able to be vulnerable, how has it affected all your relationships? So let's go into talking about not just friendships, also like relationships with your family, like partner, exes. How has not being able to be vulnerable or show your emotions affected relationships? Mike, do you want to go first?
I'd say with family and stuff, it's still an issue because I've got older siblings, you know. I've got 2 older sisters and an older brother. So their time when they were growing up and things like that, again, far removed from trying to express yourself. So they're holding on to a lot of pain and dealing with a lot still. And, you know, and not going to that change mindset of thinking maybe I should process it process this and deal with it. So there's a lot of pain there still in the family. So me and my younger brother try and kind of break that and try and be, you know, a bit more, you know, open to things and to express yourself and having these conversations, you know, as I said, breaking those generational cycles and saying, no, actually, I may have this name, but it doesn't mean we all have to be like this, because they think that this particular family are this way, they're stubborn, they're whatever. You know, I don't need to carry that. I can break the cycle and be my own person and be out on my own and do my own thing. So within family and that, it's still there, and I try my bit, and I definitely communicate with them and try and make them a bit more open and in touch with their feelings. But that's hard work, because you know how it is. Some people are set in their ways. This is the way I am, and they find it very difficult. You know, that's a painful process, is to change. It's changing. Yeah. So you know, it's easier for me because it was a point in my life where I was more open-minded to things and challenge things growing up. Christian background, me, and challenging things, you know, looking at the Bible and things said and how life is lived now, and just more open-minded to stuff rather than, you know, conditioned to be in a certain way. So definitely with that, and my relationships, you know, with my wife at the moment, I'm benefiting for being open and being in touch with my emotions, because I can express to her how I'm feeling rather than bottling them up and it coming out as passive aggressive or what have you. So yeah, I've had to learn to be that way. It's not an easy road. This has taken time. It doesn't happen overnight, because you got to unlearn so many things.
Yeah.
How we were brought up, you got to unlearn it, and that takes time. It's not an easy process, because a lot of the times as human beings, we revert back to our default settings. So what we're used to, we just go back to our comfort zone. So yeah, it's taken time. It's a process, but it's definitely impacted it and made that road a lot harder, and definitely affected a lot of my past relationships with women and things, because they've been like, why are you so guarded? I never know what you're thinking. You know, you never express yourself. You never, you know, so, you know, it's definitely affected past relationships, but it's life's for learning, isn't it? We're all students of life.
No, 100%.
As human beings, we're always evolving and becoming better versions of ourselves, hopefully. Not always in everyone's case, but hopefully we're looking to better ourselves and, you know, be better versions of ourselves.
No, I agree. What about you, Beast Mode?
Yeah, I could relate to what you just said, because compromise both ways, but it don't work, and it was very hard. And like, you give everything and they give so little, and then when it comes to arguments and that, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it's obviously like they're in the wrong and that, but they don't want to admit that. And then it just makes you feel more depressed and more down, and you just go into like this little shell, and like, you don't know who to talk to or who to turn to. And yeah, it just does get a bit much. And it does like slowly just destroy you from inside.
No, I hear that. I always look at this, Beast Mode. I always look at these situations, because I've had you could in a relationship, and you tried and you put in so much and you got nothing back. But then that's what I got from it, is what part did I play? Even though I did that, you know, should I have put some boundaries in place or something at the start of it? So it's kind of like, you know, if you're hitting them up, I've already said this, that this, I won't stand for this. I won't. So it's just learning. All I'm saying is,
100%.
That's what I did from these experiences. I just took some learning, and I said, kind of, what part did I play? You know, I can only control what I'm doing. I can't control what they're doing in a relationship. I can say how I feel and that I don't like it, but, you know, the control comes from my part I play. So I always kind of focus on that and look at that for life. Even if things have not gone your way and you've given everything, I still say, you know, could I've been a bit different in this situation? And, you know, try and learn from good or bad experiences is the point I'm trying to make.
No, what about you, Herbal Vibes?
Yeah, I think like relationships and that, right? because I'm going on the subconscious programs that I got from my family and that.
Okay.
Like obviously my dad don't really open up to his feelings, and like he normally takes all the burdens on his own back and don't let people know. I'm sort of that, like I'll just bottle stuff up, just take it on. I won't really tell my wife, you know what I mean? I'll just take it on myself, and then it will build up. It will build up, and then I'll be wondering why I'm getting depressed and this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go through them days where you just don't want to get out of bed, right? But then you're like, nah, man, I got to get out of bed. I'm a man. You know what I mean? So you always get out of bed every day because you think people are not going to understand. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, what's depression? There's no such thing as depression, man. You're a man. You need to man up. That's the word. That's the sort of words that they use in our society. You got to man up.
They do.
I think those subconscious programs, they've been a burden to me because I don't open up to my wife. Like you said, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to rewrite those programs. You know what I mean?
No, I hear.
Repetition, man.
No, it's powerful because also like going into the discussion about men's mental health, it's like, is this talking to you guys is a massive eye opener, because I can't speak for all women, but me, like speaking for myself, like I do have this thing where I find that us women are quite selfish. Like we expect way too much from you guys, because I don't know if it's generational, I don't know where it comes from, but I do think it's something that we've watched and what we've learned, that the man is supposed to do X, Y, Z, like he's supposed to give you the world. But as a woman, we're not really taught what we need to be doing for our men to make you guys feel comfortable to be vulnerable with us, to help you guys. We're more like take, and you guys are the givers. And it's like you hear it a lot on television and stuff, like the woman always talking about, he needs to do this for me, he needs to do this for me. And like you said, Mike, what part do you play in it? Like, what are you doing to support your man's mental health? Like, what are you doing to support men's mental health in general and give them that space that we're creating right now for them to be vulnerable? So like you don't get situations like Scott saying where he's taking on those kind of burdens and feel like the weight's on their shoulder. Because I think it's all related around this stigma of be a man, like man up. Like, so how has like people saying that, like the stigma being a man, affected you guys when it comes to things like boundaries, like Micah said, and mental health as well? Mike, do you want to go first?
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Well, you guys got time to think about it.
But that's a lot to that, man.
Mike's on the spot. It's like,
there's a lot to that. The stigma around mental health, and you know what? Now, you know what? I'm so different my mentality now. Like you asked me this, like maybe even like 4 years ago or something, I'll be telling you a different answer. Now I'm not about what people think or what society think I should be like. What even so-called close friends may say. I'm not even about that. I'm just about me and understanding myself and realize that I need to look within before I look at what other people are doing and what society expects me to be. I need to protect me and look after me and nurture that side. I got to look inwards. So I know I got that growth to do. I'm not perfect. No one is. You know, I Herbal Vibes. I have my days of anxiety and depression, and I totally relate. Those days I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to face the world, and I'm just like, now I'd rather this day let's just skip to tomorrow. So I've been there. I know exactly what you're saying. So I don't look at society anymore. I was a part of the sheep and just going with everything before. And now I'm just about going on my path, and this is what I want to do for me, and this is what makes me happy. And the rest of it, I can't control how people are going to react to what society expects of me or what they say of me. I can only control what I'm up to on my path and kind of where I'm heading and my growth. You know, I'm always a believer. Life is what you make it. You know, we got to make it good.
100%. That's 100%.
You know, we make this experience enjoyable. We go and make these opportunities. Don't get me wrong, a little luck along the way to get to where you need to, or what have you. But you know, your will, your wanting to make this happen or be better is in you. No one else can do that for you, and it's your life. So my way of thinking is different now. Before I just said, oh yeah, I feel like I need to be. No, I don't feel like anyway, other than I just want to be me and be true to myself, because that's me at my happiest. That's when I'm connecting with you know, the real joy and happiness inside is when I'm being me, not being someone else because someone because I'm a black man, I need to be like this, I need to dress this way, I should be listening to this music, I should wear my hair like that, I should whatever. So now I'm on a different frequency now.
100%. Yeah.
That's it. And like with it, when in terms of boundaries, like what boundaries have you set, Mike, to like be able to be your true self and keep finding that inner joy?
The boundaries are all around for myself, is setting them up and saying, look, be true to myself. That's the first thing. Listen to my intuition, because our guidance is that intuition is to guide us. Yeah, so a lot of times we get clouded and we're not listening to what, you know, with that gut feeling that everyone says, that's the intuition. Yeah, I had a gut feeling to do this. Well, that's your intuition guiding you down the right path. So 9 times out of 10, most of the time you're going to be going down the right path if you're listening to that. If you're in tune with your, you know, you can say a spiritual connection and being connected with you and your divine self, yeah, being connected with that guide you down the way. So the boundaries I set up is being true to myself. Be true to yourself is the first thing. So you face anything, meeting new people, be true to myself. Am I being me in this situation, or am I having to put on a front to get on with this person? Am I being my authentic self? Am I being true to me? That's the first thing. The next thing, respect. Respect people. If you know me or don't know me, respect me as a human being. You know, I don't care who you are, what background you're from. You know, I'm going to have respect for you, and I expect you to treat me the same way.
100%.
You know? So, you know, give out the respect, and you're meant to receive. Yeah. So, and if you're not getting that back, then, you know, on to the next one, you move.
Yeah.
And I think it's all around for myself to be, you know, is not to restrict myself from happiness. Is to let that flow organically and just be happy and like try and see the good in everything situation you're in, good or bad. Try and see some light in that situation. So for me, it's a lot around happiness and being true to me, being authentic. Okay. And that's the way I know I'm going to be truly happy, is if I'm staying true to myself. So it's around that being true to myself and knowing myself.
No, I love that. I think that is definitely a concept that a lot of men, not even just men, just people in general need to start thinking about, because I know that I had troubles with not being true to myself and feeling like I don't know who I am. And now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm really trying to find myself. And I think, like you said, this whole stigma of Black man, Black women and culture and religion, that kind of contains you, because you start meeting like social, like what people are doing in society, all these social pressures. It's like me, I listen to pop music. I was so ashamed for a long time, because as a Black woman or a West Indian woman, you're supposed to listen to reggae and gospel and all them things. That, don't get twisted, I like all of that, but I do like pop too. It's like we're supposed to, like, people make you think, yeah, you got to wear a wig and all that stuff. And for a long time, look, I did the cut. It took me so long to do the cut, because one, it was confidence, but two, it was because I did the whole trying to grow my hair natural thing, because that's what everyone else was doing. And I tried it, my hair weren't growing, and I was just like, run it. It's true. It had to be done. Like, you know, we go through these processes in life, and it's hard, it's difficult. But I like the fact that you're very true to yourself, Mike. Like, that's very inspirational. And I think that's, like, anyone watching this video, I think that is a major take from this, like, be true to yourself. What about you, Beast Mode? Like,
for me, like going back to that question, what you said about women, yeah, I think a lot of it is like women see things like cribs and all of that on TV, and they get poisoned by all the social media like things that people have. And I find a lot like even with some past relationships, like women get jealous of like their friends, and their friends poison their minds and make them jealous as well. Like they say, "Oh, my man got me this and that," and then they expect you to go out and do the same thing, but they don't understand that their friend ain't actually happy, but the man's just buying them happiness, but they're actually really happy. And yeah.
No, it's true. So did that affect you in terms of being a man in a relationship? And did you feel like you...
Really, because at the end of the day, I told them, look, you should just appreciate what you have. Because I've gone out and gone in the past, so I've bought women and treat them things, and look at like, yeah.
And that lack of appreciation, how did that make you feel?
Do that, and you know what I mean? It don't mean nothing. It's just a materialistic thing that I've just gone and bought, something that you wanted, and you just don't appreciate it.
And as a man, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like you're going to start being guarded, or does that make you feel like the next relationship, does it mess up the flow of the relationship in terms of how you're connecting?
But I've come to realize now, at the end of the day, you can't treat everyone the same. You have to give everyone a chance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Everyone else is different.
But at the time in that relationship, with the lack of appreciation, did it make you feel a bit disconnected from that person? And how did you then reconnect, or did you just kind of become more guarded?
Of course, you do carry on trying, but obviously, like if it does carry on that way, you do like start to put up a guard and show less interest, which is wrong. But what else can you do?
Yeah.
So you're protecting yourself, I guess.
Some people like go down the road of like start talking to other people and cheated. I'm not like that at the end of the day. So I'd rather just try and sort things out and try and make things better. But if it don't work like that, then what else are you supposed to do?
No, it's true. And I think there's only so much you can try and so much energy you can give to someone, especially if...
And sometimes it doesn't help. They just don't understand at the end of the day.
But do you feel like, you know...
It's a massive thing.
Yeah. What about like other cultures you dated? Have you had like similar issues? Because is it just women in general, or is it, like you said, it's just mainly a culture thing?
Different cultures are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is 100%. No culture is the same.
No, that's true there.
Everyone has different beliefs and values at the end of the day. And like, end of the day, the ones that I've been with, I've always respected that anyway. Whether I've had to change or learn certain things, I've gone out of my way to do it. That's the only way, with communication and compromise, that's the only way a relationship is going to work.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, I love that. But then as a man, like, how are you guys communicating in the relationship? Do you find that you're very open and understanding and you communicate well, or like we're saying about being guarded? And
when I was younger, I wouldn't say I was, but as I've gotten older, more wiser, yeah, I'm very, very open.
No,
and especially like as a single dad now, I've learned so much now because obviously I'm the mum and the dad now. So yeah.
Imagine,
you learn a lot.
Yeah.
You take on a lot. So yeah.
Oh, that's it. What about you, Herbal Vibes? Sitting there quiet in the corner.
Yeah. Nah, I think like people should be true to themselves, because at the end of the day, I think people look at themselves through the eyes of people that hate them. So like at the end of the day, like me, I'm vegan. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm about my fitness thing. Like every day, I feel like I'm in the lion's den, because I'm surrounded by people that are about the drinking, the smoking, the going out and the sesh. You know what I mean? Go steaming and all that. And that's not really me. But at the end of the day, a lesser person, they might give into peer pressure, and it is hard because you got social media these days telling you this is the way you're meant to look, this is the way you're meant to dress. You know what I mean? So it is easy to give into peer pressure. I can understand why people do, but at the end of the day, that's not what you're not going to be happy with yourself, and it's going to catch up with you down the line because you'll be hiding your true self. Like me, I listen to metal music, I listen to rock, I listen to Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah.
I listen to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I listen to everything as well.
I listen to Jim Reeves because my dad listens to Jim Reeves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, me, I'm an all-rounder, but I'm not ashamed to, like, me and Dwayne work in the same place. We used to listen to metal at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't care, you know what I mean? It's like be who you are. Be who you are. Yeah, be who you are. Don't be ashamed of being who you are at the end of the day. Yeah. That's what I thought. It's good to add, you know what I mean?
And then, you know, because we're all about, with all of this in it, like, how do you, because then you all look like the men that really take care of yourself, the way you look and everything. Like, how does self-love and self-care play into it? Obviously, because that's about, you know, connecting with yourself, as we're saying about your true self. So how do you take care of this person that you are?
Yeah, time. Sorry, no, go ahead. Oh, you started.
No, go ahead. You start with me, man.
I was just gonna say, you know, taking time for yourself, and I mean that, and you know, whether it's running a bath, whether it's a nice long hot shower, a walk, whatever it is, listening to some Earth, Wind and Fire, whatever's gonna do it for you. But see, this is the thing; it's individual. Because you know what makes me happy might not make Herbal Vibes happy or Beast Mode, but you know that again going back to knowing yourself, you know what makes you happy, that puts a smile on your face. You know whether it is listening to some Bob Marley, you know, while you cook or whatever you're doing or bake or whatever you're up to, but it's that time, and it's appreciating that you need it and it's important for you. And it's having that downtime with yourself, you know. And I do that. I have these moments, you know, not with my wife. I'll go off and, you know, I may go and cook something and have some Bob Marley on in the background, and that's my time, just to take it in and enjoy, and you know, all the memories of growing up with that music when I was a kid and all this stuff. So, you know, reflecting on, you know, my childhood and stuff like that. So yeah, and that's what you do. You take your time, no matter what it is. But it's for you. It's special, and you appreciate it. Don't rush it. Just kind of set some time out. I know we're all busy. We've all got stuff to do, working and doing all sorts, man. That's just life. But just take these moments and say, on that day off, I'm gonna make sure I spend, you know, whatever it is, half an hour, whatever, doing this for me, because I know I need that. And you know, I appreciate that self-love and that self-care. And that's, you know, it gives me self-worth, that I'm worth something, and I'm not just going through the motions, going through life and, you know, trying to achieve stuff. I'm actually spending time just for me, because those are moments you're really happy, man. That's real happiness. It's taking time for yourself.
That's true. That's it. And I think we all, I know I need to start finding that time for myself, because I think it's very important. You know, when you got kids, you start to like, learn to, like, you have to learn to balance everything and juggle everything, but also it's very important to create that time for yourself. So doing that, how do you deal with self-love and creating time for yourself?
You
look fresh, so I don't think you have that. You know,
going barbers, getting a shape up and then getting my hair cut, obviously. Obviously exercise. And definitely man time as well. You have to have a bit of man time. Because I've had relationships where, like, I kind of, I'd say, disconnected from my friends and even sometimes my family. I actually hated it. I didn't feel myself, and I'm sure you know, Ross, and like, you could tell that I weren't myself, and I was a bit depressed and whatnot. So definitely friends and family is a big thing, man. You can't disregard them, especially when you're in a relationship, because it will kill you, man. I'm telling you, 100%.
I hear you.
No, it's true. And I think it's important as a woman that we support our men with the whole their family relationship, and encourage them to go out with them and have man time, and let them have that family time as well, because, you know, that's that's them. That's part of who they are, and they need to always connect with every ounce of their being. And I know, like, some men I've spoken to, they're like, oh, when I'm out, my woman just texting me all the time. And I think, yeah, that's all about trust and understanding. You know, you're with the guy, he's gone out, let him be, let him have that time to himself. And, you know, when he comes home, he's with you, but you don't do this all the time. So let him have his man time. Like, Vibes, what do you think?
Man time is definitely important, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I feel self-love is important as well, man, because if I don't love myself, how can I love anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, sometimes, yeah, I know a man's worst enemy is his own thoughts sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta spend some time with yourself so you can think where these thoughts are coming from. You know what I mean? So I think meditation's key. And I think for me, like, going to the gym's meditation, because when I go to the gym, I'm not thinking about nothing. I'm just clearing my mind. So I'm taking that.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, man. So like, yeah, I think, yeah, self-love's important, man. Doing stuff that makes you happy, man. Because if you're happy, that's your vibe. That's what you're vibrating. So and that vibe's infectious, man. So if you're sad all the time, you're just gonna that vibe's gonna rub off into the next person. You know what I mean? So so like, yeah.
So guys, go on.
No, you go.
No, say it. Go on. So yeah.
No, I think good vibes run the world, innit? So I think the happier someone is, man, the better it is.
No, it's true, and I agree that happiness makes the world go round. It's all about that high vibrational energy in it, and it's contagious as well.
100%. Roxy, we're gonna have to wrap this up.
No, that's what I was gonna say. So like, just I'm looking at the time as well. So just to finish it off, guys, like that's what I was gonna ask. My final question is for youth and other men that will watch this, or even women, like how would you advise anyone on ways to connect with themselves, be vulnerable? Like, what would you say to anyone and give them advice?
It's difficult. This is not an easy. This is the thing, and some people look at this and say, well, yeah, that person can just be open and things like that. It's a process. This is an overnight thing. I'm still work in progress. I'm not perfect. I'm not always open still. I still revert back to my default settings and hold some stuff in. I'm not completely, you know, I'm not there yet. I'm still working on that. So I know I do it a lot more than I used to when I was younger. So I would say start with speaking to someone you trust. Open up to them and be honest. And just have those and that's the start, is having a conversation with someone. You know, someone you trust and you feel you can confide in. It's not going to be everyone, because as I said, I still have friends that I can't speak on that level with. So find that person, sibling, or whoever you feel, you know what, that person's on that similar frequency to me, and or is open and I can speak to. So maybe I can have a conversation about this, and I'll try and say the odd thing. It's not going to be easy. It's a process. It's like getting over that hurdle. It's a bit uncomfortable initially. But once you start getting used to it, it then becomes easier and easier. And the more you have these conversations, you'll realize that you're helping yourself. You know, you're feeling better. As I said, it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders when you start being able to have these conversations, and instead of it, you know, maybe coming out in passive aggressive ways or anger or what have you. So I'd say start with just having a conversation. You know, that's where it started for me. I just had a conversation with my brother and started talking and opening up, and that was years ago. But the more I did it, the easier it felt. So I feel comfortable being on a platform like this and actually, you know, discussing to you guys about how I feel. So yeah, I'll start with the conversation.
No, thank you, Mike. What about you, Dwayne?
Oh, definitely talking to people, and I'd say like especially like with a lot of the younger guys at work, like they see like my physique and ask me like how I get like that and whatnot. I give them advice, and I give them like life lessons from like my past, and give them a lot of advice. They still come and talk to me, and yeah, we have good conversations. And a lot of them like do go on my Instagram, comment and look, and then ask me and advise me. So yeah,
that's good.
I'd say yeah, mainly just talk and just be open with people.
Yeah.
Obviously, like there's trust and whatnot, but
yeah,
for me, like I wouldn't say like people I don't know that I don't tell them my deep secrets or whatnot, but I do give them like life lessons. And, and a lot of them do take it into account as well, and it does help them as well.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few people that I know that I've spoken to them and they've joined the gym or started eating healthier or whatnot. Because I do post a lot of like food that I put up or whatnot, and they look at it and they ask me, "Oh, what's that?" and whatnot, and think to start eating like that. So yeah.
No, thank you, Dwayne. What about you, Scott? Herbal vibes?
Yeah, I think it's there's not a one size fits all subject. Like it's like talking to people, like Mike said, man, a problem shared is a problem halved. And like just spend a lot of time with yourself, man. Meditation, man. Find out what these or even like Roxanne said, journaling. Like get all your emotions out on paper, man. Just release it. Sometimes that's what you got to do, man.
Yeah.
No, I agree. No, but thank you guys. You guys have been amazing.
Oh man,
you guys
a pleasure, man.
Definitely
it's been a great chat.
Nice to meet you,
That went quick.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
I told you about an hour couldn't go like that. I told you like that. You get talking before you know we're here all night.
I know, guys. Nah, it's great stuff, man. I would like to say to anyone taking from this, self-love, setting healthy boundaries, talking to people like everyone's saying, meditation, journaling, exercise. Be true to yourself. Find something that works for you, but don't contain all those heavy emotions. Get them out and, find your happiness. Be true to yourself and stay blessed.
100%. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Guys, thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. It's been amazing. And thank you for anyone watching.
Peace, love, light, and healing, man.
See you later, man.
Take care. Bye.